Well, all right. You know, over the years, over a lifetime, I have seen a lot of shows. When I was a kid, I went to a lot of concerts in the 70s, started working shows, and it is a fair statement to say that I have seen thousands of shows. And out of that, how many times have I seen something that I would call a show stopper, something that stopped the show, that stopped everything that's going on because it was just so amazing. And I'm going to tell you 2 times that I remember that happening. I will say this, there's different levels of stopping the show, right? There's a show-stopping moment on stage that is so amazing that the audience just gasps. You forget about everyone else that played that day, whether they're the middle slot, beginning, end. I mean, someone that really stands out. Then there's another type of stopping the show moment that I'm referring to here, and that is when the entire crew in the building stops working and watches what's going on stage. And let me tell you something, this never, ever happens. Especially when you're talking about a New York City television crew. You know, we're kind of the people that have like literally seen it all. Like a spaceship would have to land in the middle of the stage for us to even look over. Oh yeah, so anyways, what are you doing for dinner? We're going to this place. I'm like, believe me, no matter what kind of epic thing is happening on stage, for the most part, none of us care. It's just because, we're at work doing the thing, in and out, and show to show to show to show. I mean, something really epic has to happen, really, to get our attention. First time that comes to mind for me is when we were doing the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony in Cleveland, Ohio, the year that we did Guns N' Roses when they were inducted into the Hall of Fame. The Guns N' Roses sound check at Public Hall was mixed by my buddy Dave Nattel, who is probably one of the greatest live sound mixers that ever lived. You could debate who's the greatest guy today out there, and I would say it's Dave. And certainly over the arc of his career, if you have gone out to concerts over your lifetime, you've definitely heard his mix, and believe me, you definitely remember it. So Dave is mixing Guns N' Roses for this sound check, and everything in the room stopped. Everybody stopped working. It was the most epic. It was the most epic sounding thing. We had a brand new PA, the VTX that we had in for this show. And Dave just driving it with this epic band. It was, my hair still stands up when I think how amazing that sound check was. And like I said, everybody in the building stopped working and 100% focused on the stage. It was that unbelievable. These guys out there nice and loose, no cameras on, no audience, them just jamming and getting down, Dave turning it up to 11. I mean, really, just amongst us crew guys, we still talk about what a phenomenal experience that was. The other time that really stands out for me, is we were doing a night of Too Many Stars at the Beacon Theater. This is a show that they did it every 2 years, and it's Jon Stewart does this benefit thing for people with autism, autistic kids, right? And that's really all I know about it. I don't know anything more than that. And it's when they say night of too many stars, like they mean it. Like there's too many stars. I mean, you name them, they were there. They come out, they say something, they do a joke, they're back on and off. I've done the show twice. One time I was at the front of house perspective, and one time I was on the side of the stage left, dealing with all the crap on stage. So we're doing rehearsals, because how you do a TV show like that is you load it in, and then every every performance element gets a sound check and camera blocking so they can get all that together. Now, if you're just some comedian, you're going to walk out there and tell your stupid jokes. I mean, you don't get it. You don't get that. But if you're performing some kind of musical performance, you definitely get a sound check. So the day before, we're doing all these sound checks, one after the other. We have a schedule that we have, certain order, right? And there is some female pop star that's going to be doing a duet with a little girl who's, I'd say, like 10, 11 years old, right? And she's autistic, she has autism. And the little girl is sitting in the front row with her mom, right? She's been sitting there all day long while we're doing these sound checks. And they're sitting there. And we get to the point where it's time for their rehearsal, but the pop star, she's not there, right? So we arrange this whole thing and get to the point where we're moving the schedules, and finally get to the point where, this pop star, we don't think she's going to show up at all to rehearse doing a duet with this kid who has been sitting here all day long with her mom, waiting for her chance to do her thing, right? And we don't know what it's about. We never know what this or that's about. What do we know? So they bring out a grand piano. Turns out the kid's going to play piano. All right, great. Kid's going to play piano. So we get her up there, get this 10, 11-year-old girl up there, and she's going to play piano and sing something for us. We just want to check her vocal. We just want to check the piano. We don't care that she plays what she's going to play with the pop star. We just want to make sure it all works. We just want to hear it. That's what we're doing. Let me tell you something. I'm still choked up a decade later telling this story. That little girl got behind that piano, and she did After the Gold Rush by Neil Young. And it was so good. And it was so hauntingly good that everybody in the room stopped working. Everybody stopped working. Every focus was at the stage and at this autistic girl sitting at this grand piano in the middle of the Beacon Theater playing this Neil Young song. And it was incredible, man. I mean, it chokes me up, brings tears to my eyes. Let's think back about it. How amazing that single performance of hers was. I mean, there wasn't a dry eye in the house when she was done. Wasn't a dry eye in the house when she was done. I mean, it could be one of the greatest performances I ever saw in my life. Was that little girl at the Beacon Theater waiting for the fucking pop star that didn't have the decency to even show up for a sound check for her, and made that kid wait all one day. And when they finally showed up, I asked one of the techs, I was like, hey man, you guys, we really had to jump a lot of hoops, what was up? And they said, oh yeah, she was hanging out with some friends, didn't want to come down here, yeah. Okay, real class act. And the next day, when we do the whole show, top to bottom, what we call the cue to cue, again, pop star doesn't show up. There's that little girl sitting with her mom in the front row, just sitting there. And, and then finally the show happens and we do the thing and the moment comes out and they roll the piano out. We get the little girl out there and here comes the pop star, blessing us with her fucking presence, right? and now the little girl is playing the pop star's song on the piano. And it was like she was Beethoven the day before, and now today it's like she is some low-level rapper. I mean, the difference in the quality of what we saw. If you would have just taken that little girl's performance and put that on the air instead of that stupid pop star, and the worst part is seeing her lyrics on a giant teleprompter roll, boom, boom, boom. I mean, come on, man. Come on, like, who is the special needs person here amongst the two of them? Who is the real star? Who is the real showstopper? Who was the real woman that that deserved the respect, the attention, the admiration for putting out a real heartfelt performance? I've told this story before, and it's something that really irritates me. It really irritates me. There's so much good talent out there, so much amazing talent out there, and they're just being ignored by the mainstream, but they don't have to be ignored by us. I tell you, you see some kids concert going out there, go ahead and support it. You got a local band, go out and support it. You know, you see some kind of thing happening with just some kids jamming, support it, support it, support it, and don't give your money to artists and to companies and entertainers that treat you like a chump and shovel you this garbage while the real talent sits out there without the spotlight on them. That's what I'm saying.